What's up, ecosystem? Welcome back to ATI Auto Business. My name is Jay. It's noon Central Time. That means it's time for some more Cars on the Move, where we check in with dealers, auctions, carriers, connecting retail, wholesale, logistics, and tech. This is your end of the week auto business strategy, transportation, logistics. Really, if you're in automotive, you're in logistics and transportation. Whether you look at that right now, whether you're looking at recon, if you're looking at sales, marketing, operations, we talk about all of it. That's what we do here. So please do feel free, you can jump in the chat because you can. And do me a favor, leave a like, click share, click copy, let folks know we're going to be live for 30 minutes. We have special guests today, as we do often on Cars on the Move. We've got Ben Goodman and Bill Elizondo of NIADA, and they're going to talk about the Buy Here, Pay Here Dealer Academy workshop happening later this month. So as ahead of that, to tell us more about that. But before we do that, let's go ahead and bring in Ty, my co-host. Look at that live chat going crazy. Hey, Ty. What's happening?
Hey,
can you see me? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Right,
yeah,
cool.
Good.
Awesome.
I'm out at the ADESA Kansas City transport parking lot, and I've got a lot to talk about. And I'm also really excited about Bill and Ben joining us today, because NIADA is one of my favorite conferences that I go to, and the reason is because of dealers, right? So, which is a great topic for today, because I spent an hour this morning in Clubhouse. Remember last week I spent an hour in Clubhouse, and we came on the show and I said, here's what I learned. Dealers are relational people. They appreciate relationships. If you're a vendor, whether that's a service or a product, they appreciate the relationship and want to know that you're invested in that relationship. That was last week. This week, my takeaway, quick takeaway for an hour in Clubhouse with dealers like Brian Benstock, Jason Rice, Dave, all the big name guys. Oh, remember when we were in ADA and on the stage was Brian Benstock and Andy Ellison, something like that?
I know what you're talking about. And is it David Kane, David Spizak? Anyways, there's many influencers in the dealer space, yeah.
Yeah. So
we're watching.
Andy's in there. Here's my takeaway. Know who your customer is and what your customer talks about, right? So these guys, this whole hour, do you know what they talked about? Positive attitude. Building people up. You know, this stuff I talk about a lot. Dale Carnegie, How to Win Friends and Influence People, Tony Robinson, all these guys, motivational guys. Like Andy, this Andy guy that I can't remember his last name, sorry. He's the Tony Robbins of the car industry. He said today on Clubhouse he's in 11,000 dealerships across the United States. And his job is to go in and get the team built up, encouraged, and how to sell cars and have a great attitude while you're doing it.
I'm going to ask you a crazy question.
Okay.
Is there that much positivity and talk because there's a lot of negativity to deal with?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I think there's a lot of truth to what they're saying. Whether you believe it or not, that's your customer. So my point is by spending an hour in there listening to them, when I go talk to a dealer, I'm full of energy. I'm full of vision. I'm full of hope. I'm full of
energy. That's interesting, because when you're on camera, that's one of the things you got to bring your energy up. And when you're selling cars, you may as well be on camera. Am I right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So before we go and go in, I'm going to turn the camera on. I got to show you something. I just saw this and it really blew me away. Okay, can you see anything in my background?
Yeah.
Can you see those two way back there?
Ooh,
I
see the white semi that just pulled in.
I'm going to turn it around.
And then I see one beyond him. Yeah, go ahead.
Hold on.
Now you can do some zoomage and the whatnot.
Yeah. We're going to get serious. Okay, see back there? Way back there? There's two stingers. In front of that white truck, okay, there's two stingers. Those are Carvana stingers. Now watch this. This is crazy. This really just caught my attention. I was like, what the? Okay, can you see back there?
Yeah.
Can you see what that is?
Are those Carvana stingers?
Yeah. Look at them.
Is there, what is it, like a dozen?
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's got to be at least 12 back there.
This is like that photo from Oklahoma City a few months ago.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Yeah, who knows? That's my first time to see that, so I can't tell you.
Yeah,
but,
I haven't seen that before either. In fact,
why are they inside?
This just in, I think our feed is about to get cut.
Oh, shoot. Yeah, that happens
Oh
a
man.
lot.
Luckily, I think that's just why they took down that spy balloon. We're good. I just got that.
There you
Okay.
go.
Yeah. Well, okay.
Okay, so anyway, transport parking lot, ADESA Kansas City. Know your customer. Who's your customer? I prefer to have my customer as a dealership and an auction. And that's why we have dealer guys on like Ben and Bill today. Now is a perfect time to bring them in.
All right, let's do it. So here we go. Camera one, please do help us welcome our special guest today. We have Ben Goodman and Bill Elizondo of NIADA here to talk more about their Buy Here, Pay Here Dealer Academy Workshop Extravaganza. Ben and Bill, welcome to the show.
Jay, thanks for having us on, buddy. Ty, it's good to see you.
You too.
So what was going on with the feed there?
The feed? I don't know. Did it cut out?
Yeah, look like it for just a
Did
second.
it really?
Yeah, it got real fuzzy and microwavy. Good one, Ben.
Well, I think you said something about the Chinese spy balloon, right?
Yeah. It's exactly what it was.
Right, and I mean, talk about edgy. Wow. We better move on to some business quick.
Yeah, get to the business.
Hey, Bill, welcome back to the program. We had you guys on, was it 2 to 3 months ago? Ty was live in the transport. What was that show? Do we remember?
Oh my goodness.
Hey, Bill is courtesy mute, which is cool.
Yeah, I think I might
Ben,
have done that.
do you control his audio?
Yeah.
Okay, wait. Now he's troubleshooting it. He'll get it.
Yeah.
No, I've got it here.
Very cool.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
You're
Ben kind of, he does. He's got a control button that actually tries to mute me. So I've got to watch out for Ben. He's kind of sneaky like that, but that's okay. You know what? I'm on top of him.
It's not true, Bill. I love listening to you talk, brother. You're one of the smartest guys in the business.
You guys are. You're like a 2-pack, Ben and Bill.
Hey, speaking of that, I got to see these guys do a presentation live. I believe that was in Austin at the NIADA BHPH Super Forum. Is that right?
That's right.
And these two guys put on a presentation like I've never seen. It was really cool, packed with real information, real actionable steps that you can take to get into this business.
That's
really
a perfect segue, because I want to say this. Not only are you guys personable, but when you get in a room in front of your information, because let it be known, you have a lot of information.
Whoa.
Right? And what is that information? We're going to move into what's the information you guys have to share?
Oh, I think that we talk just about anything in the buy here, pay here business. Collection, sales, operations, management, inventory, marketing, you name it. And we pretty much talk all about it. So, there's a lot. Ben, what else would you add to that?
Well, I mean, gosh, as young as Bill and I look, we've got, both of us have over 30 years of industry-related experience. So there isn't much about the buy here, pay here space or the subprime markets that we haven't been exposed to. And one of the best things about what we get to do is we not only do we have our own operational knowledge, but we get to work with hundreds and hundreds of dealers across the country, and we get to learn from them as well. So, man, it's just we get to pull all that together. So there isn't much about the business that we haven't been exposed to. And if we haven't, we know where to go to get the answers. So
yeah, that's the absolute truth. That there's so much that we know and that we can talk about, and here's the one positive about us being together. If I forget something or don't say something, Ben will chime right back in and vice versa. And, because we came from two different, even though we were both in the buy here, pay here world, and we both, came up understanding all of this business. One of the things that we got out of, or that we come with, is that I came from one side of the buy here, pay here business with America's Car Mart. Ben came from another side over with Byrider. Never knew each other until we got over here to NIADA, but you know what? Yeah. It's been a great match.
And if you were to ask our wives, they would probably both agree that, Bill and I are really full of it. So lots.
Well, so I can add something to that. I never worked, I don't think directly with either one of you, but I worked with both of the organizations you guys worked for at one time. So meaning I hauled a lot of cars for a company called Car Mart. out of Northwest Arkansas. And I got to see, it's funny because there is a difference, right? From a vendor standpoint, dealing with a Car-Mart versus a JD Buyrider. So a Car-Mart, you go pick up the cars at the auction. You usually take them to a holding place. That kind of changed over the years. So a lot of changes, but to see from the vendor side what these guys are really talking about is real, because Car-Mart was very good. So was JD Buyrider about taking care of their vendors. And that was one thing I always appreciated about those. So when you hear a guy like Bill and Ben talk about, we didn't really know each other, we came from this side and this side, what they're saying is real. And I know that for a fact from a vendor standpoint. So good job.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Thanks.
Yeah.
All right.
So yeah, keep going.
So I was just going to say, talking a little bit about, and I think, just talking about the industry itself, both Ben and I have, just a number of different things that, we've at least kind of discussed and talked about over, time. And, we've got classes coming up, but I think one of the things that we wanted to at least touch base on is just maybe at least give a little bit of some industry news kind of going on right now. I think we talked a little bit about that. And Ben, I'm going to defer to you initially to kind of start and kick that off.
Yeah. So, again, Jay, Ty, we really appreciate you guys letting us come on to the show with you. And as we were prepping for this, we talked about, what would be some good topics to discuss for your viewers. And one of the things we thought that might be a really good topic would be how did 2022 end up, right? In the automotive space and really kind of in the industry specific to buy here, pay here. So as everybody's probably aware, I'll share some stats with you guys. Well, I won't get into stats, but I'll just share some philosophy here. So consumer credit trends up. It's actually the largest percentage increase in 2022 in more than a decade. So there's a lot of consumers out there using a lot of debt. Specific to automotive, and Bill, chime in on this when you get a chance here, but specific to automotive, when you look at the industry, sales were down. So the number of accounts that are on the books, and this is a report that, it's got this data from Equifax, but the number of accounts that were on the books dropped from 88.5 million to 86.5 million. However, the account balances went up from 1.4 billion to 1.5 billion, which is a significant increase. And here's where it starts getting a little alarming, is that the feeling out there is a lot of consumers took on more than what they could really handle. You had a lot of excess income coming into the households with the stimulus money during the pandemic, right? And that kind of burned out in the second half of 2022 last year. So what's happening with severe delinquency, and this is automotive space as a whole, not specific to buy here, pay here, but automotive lending as a whole, is that it's 38% increase in 60 plus delinquencies as a whole. It's a very significant rise in the business. And what that tells us is that our consumers are stressed, and they took on a little bit more than what they could really handle, and now they got to deal with it. I think that's a really good opportunity for us in the buy here, pay here market as we roll into 2023. Bill, what are you seeing in that regard?
As far as collections go and delinquencies, that's definitely on the increase. Again, just in the month of November, the numbers were up again from same time last year in bankruptcies. So, a lot of things are happening out there in our society today. The increase in just first payment defaults and the increase in just people not being able to afford these payments. Think about it. A year and a half, 2 years ago, you would never have thought in this business that there would have been anybody that would have been able to afford $750 a month in a payment. And, that was just unheard of. If Ben and I were ever going to teach that, we'd say you're asking for a disaster. Well, but it was done because there was not a lot of other options. They didn't have any other way to kind of get those deals done or financed because they had a certain time limit based on the bank covenants that they might have had at that point in time. So now we've got these out there. So now customers they're finally settling in. They're okay. Well, I've got to pay this, but now I can't pay $750. So the reality is those things are going to start to kind of come back up, and people don't want to lose their cars because they're still pricey.
Yeah, and I think as a direct result of that, what you saw in 2022, what you saw in 2020 and 2021 was a dramatic decline in revolving debt, consumer debt. on the revolving side, credit cards and stuff like that. And then, all of a sudden the stimulus money goes away. And what you see on the graph is you see like a tremendous spike. It's actually the highest rise in over 12 years in credit card debt. And as consumers start realizing, oh my gosh, I don't have quite as much money in the household. I've taken on maybe a little bit more debt than I could. So they start trying to compensate with that revolving debt. What that's an indicator of is in the larger space, in the prime space, that's an indicator of a market reset. You add that to the cost of funds going up last year, like they went up, which was pretty significant. Think about what prime rates did last year in government. I think it was 4 different separate times that they raised interest rates, right? So and that's still going to be there's still going to be a couple more times in 2023 is what we're predicting that rates are going to continue to go up. I personally believe there might be a level set there in 24. Digress just a second though. So my point is that you've got a lot of debt. You can see the consumers are stressed, and now cost of funds are going up. So what happens at this time, and this is particular to the buy here, pay here space, is margins start getting squeezed into some prime market, right? Which is that market that's right above us on the credit bureau scale. So that subprime market, defaults are going up, cost of funds are going up. So that margin gets squeezed and those guys start pulling out. I was just in a 20 group, and I'd love to hear your opinion on this, Bill, if you're hearing the same thing from your 20 groups. But I was just in a 20 group with some dealers who do both franchise and buy here, pay here, and they were telling me that they're getting 650 and 680 credit scores now are getting turned down, and they're having to shift those scores into their buy here, pay here model. Man, I think for those of you out there who remember 2010, 2008, 9, and 10 and 11, oh my goodness, you guys, 2010 prior to the pandemic was probably some of the best, most stable years in the buy here, pay here market, and it was a similar trend. Whereas the consumers had bitten off a little more than they could handle, and the subprime markets started pulling out of the space, which left the consumers with fewer options. And we were able to kind of realize that here in the buy here, pay here model. Bill, are you seeing something? Are you hearing something similar from your 20
absolutely.
groups?
And not just from I've also got a finance group that I work with, and these are some of the larger finance companies around the country that have direct business with retailers or individuals. And, they're not the largest ones in our country, the Santanders and the Westlakes of the world, but they're large enough to be able to do a good amount of volume. And these guys are starting to see more deals coming to them and giving them opportunities that they might not have seen because they didn't take as many risks. They weren't getting out there as far as some of these other guys. Mm-hmm. And so, the opportunities for them are definitely starting to increase. But, one of the biggest things, again, we kind of go back and it's great to, in these meetings, we have, the agenda topics that we talk about and discuss, and maybe this is digressing just a little bit, but those topics that we talk about are specifically collections and how to handle, what to do, why, and what are you going to do that's going to benefit not only you, but your consumers, your customers as well. Because at the end of the day, one of the first things we always talk about is relationships. If you've got a great relationship, you're going to have a better opportunity to make and continue to collect on that account and get them to pay from start to finish. And that's what we're looking for, because that's the biggest part of what we all do, what we teach, what we train. And, at the end of the day, what we want our people to understand as, hey, the benefit is if you can get them to get to the finish line, you've won. No matter how hard you had to tug, sometimes had to pull, you've won. So that's a big one.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more, Bill. So in the 20 group, so we both have had Bill and I, Jay, you asked us in the beginning of the show, but we're both senior 20 group moderators for NIADA. So what we do for the folks who don't really understand, so what we do is picture 20 independent dealers from across the country in non-competing markets kind of get together in a room, and we discuss the challenges and successes and best practices from their businesses. And because they're in non-competing markets, which I think is really important, they're really honest with each other, right? They're able to share their best ideas without worrying about your neighbor stealing your customer base. So it works out really good. And the other piece of this is that, they're all owners in the room. So, if I'm speaking to the entrepreneurs that are listening right now, you know how it is. you're the person in charge. You own the business, and you might have some people that you can rely on that you really trust, but no one really understands what it's like to write the check unless you're someone else who's writing the check, right? And having other people in the room with you that you can speak to about the challenges that are facing your industry, super important. And to Bill's point, when we started, all the meetings we had in January, oh my gosh. So the last couple of years, Ty, you're going to like this reference. So the last couple of years, squeaky wheel gets the grease, right? Especially in our business, right? So the last couple of years, guess what's not been squeaking? Our collections department has not been squeaking. We've been collecting a lot of payments because there's been a lot of money out there in the consumer world, and they haven't been driving the cars quite as much. Now, all of that kind of level set a little bit in 2022, rolling into 2023. Well, when that part of your business is going really good, well, guess what you don't look at? You don't look at that part of your business. You look at the part of your business that's not going so good, which was recon and inventory and trying to fill your front lots, right? So we've kind of forgotten some of the disciplines that have made us great in the past on the collection side. And that's really where the focus in these 20 groups have been in January. And frankly, if there's any dealers on the line right now listening, that's where your focus really needs to be at.
Absolutely.
And to Bill's point a second ago about the relationship building, it's really easy when there's a lot of money out there and it's easy to collect. Man, don't get into that cash or keys mentality. I think you got to think there's a couple dynamics that are at play. First of all, we've overpaid for inventory the last couple of years. That inventory is sitting in your portfolio right now, and it's really a little overvalued because prices are going to continue to come back down into our space. Okay. All right. That being said, you've got an overvalued portfolio and you've got a stressed consumer base, right? And I just kind of went through some of the stats from 2022. Well, that makes for a really dangerous, not dangerous isn't the right word. It's going to be a great year for buy here, pay here, but it kind of makes for a bad dynamic. So really understanding how to build that relationship with your customer and helping your customer kind of cross the finish line so they continue advancing. Last thing we want to do is we've got customers that have worked really hard for a year or 2 years to make payments on time, and now all of a sudden they're in a situation where we've got to repossess their vehicle. It's the last thing we want to do, right? Because that actually hurts the consumer, and it hurts us as an industry. So, Bill, that's kind of what you're talking about right there, right? I'm sure you're hearing the same things.
Absolutely. Yep. And I mean, the average charge-offs have gone up from 2021 to 2022 about $2,000 or so. So you can already see that this is going to continue. That trend's going to continue. It's probably going to, in 2023, we're going to see it go up even more at that point in time because we didn't see everything that was going to be, either delinquent or a charge-off at that point in time because you're financing so much more money. Because costs, the price of vehicles, as you can see, Ty, you're out there all the time at the auctions. You're seeing, you're listening to the numbers going through and the prices that people are paying. It's crazy. But you got to make sure. But at the end of the day, that they're buying it because they need that vehicle. They need to be able to sell it, and they're still trying to make at least that spread that they had and or try to make at one point in time because they still have to pay their bills just like everybody else. So it's like anything else in our business, right, or anything else in our society right now. Everything has gone up. This is just one of those things that has continued, that has gone up. But I can also tell you that, and I think Ben, you probably have seen this as well. Prices are starting to kind of, at least level out, go down just a little bit. So, we've been asked in the past, well, what's going to, where are you at right now? Well, it's not going to be immediate that you're going to see these prices and everything go down because they're still selling the cars that they just bought in November and December. But coming January, February, March, as they're buying some of these vehicles, even though it's tax time, they're still, again, leveling off just a smidge. But at the end of the day, you're going to start to see some of those prices probably come down just a little bit, but I don't see it coming down a lot. Would you agree, Ben?
And I think so. We talk about cost of funds and what that's doing to our margins, and we also want to talk about what that's doing to when we're borrowing money, right? Everything in the dealership's going up. But you just hit on a point that I want to make for the listeners. So if you're sitting on vehicles, here's what happens in the reconditioning side, right? So you've got these vehicles, you've put a lot of money into them, and you're trying to sell these cars, and you might have these cars sitting on your front lot. They've been sitting out there 60, 90 days. Well, as we start buying the same inventory for a little less, right? So we've got a 2015 Fusion that we bought 3 months ago that was $1,000. This is just an example, but it's $1,000 more than the Fusion we buy in March. If we haven't already sold that Fusion from a couple months ago, your salesmen aren't going to sell it. They're going to move right around that car because they're going to take the path of least resistance, as all salesmen, and I am one, will do. Okay. So they're going to circle around that car. So inventory turn time is super important right now. If you're sitting on inventory, do not sit on inventory. You have to push it through. Even if you have to take a little bit lower gross on the front end, don't get stuck with that. Because to Bill's point, we are seeing, especially in the buy here, pay here space. So it's really dramatic. 2021s, 2020s, 2019s, and Ty, you're probably seeing this at the auctions and stuff. But that model year was really overpriced when it was sold, and that's dramatically coming down, right? In the buy here, pay here space, that anywhere from 5 to 15 year market, it's softening, but it's not dramatic. It's not as dramatic as the newer model years. Is that something what you're seeing, Ty?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Totally.
So, and that's what our dealers are telling us, right? Is that it's softening a little bit. Now, the part of the reason, guys, is, as you all know, is that we're in tax time right now. So tax time prices always go up because of supply and demand issues, because people are trying to get a lot of vehicles in preparation for the tax season, right? We're going to sell a lot of cars there. So what ends up happening now is after tax season, that's when I think we're going to start seeing prices in the buy here, pay here space start in the independent retail space start coming down. It's not going to be 20, 30%. Gosh, I hope that doesn't happen. Most people are predicting anywhere from 3 to 5%, but we are going to start seeing that coming down, and it's going to be accumulative. So it's going to continue coming down throughout the course of the year. Moving that metal, getting those vehicles off your lot, don't let them sit back there. You'll end up with an overpriced lot that you can't sell, and it'll be hard for you down the road.
Yep, and or you're going to have to cut out your some of your profits at that point in time as well. So one of the things that we always taught our salespeople is sell from the back of the list. You can't sell from that front part of the list because that front part is going to be the newest stuff. So hey, you only get this one sheet, and this is the sheet that you have to sell from. So but at the end of the day, we want, and I think everybody and all dealers, they want to be able to provide a good, reliable vehicle for the customer, for the consumer. Because, and again, to Ben's point, and I don't know if you saw or not, but Ben got really excited as soon as she started talking about recon. He actually pulled his chair up. He sat to the front of the desk.
Saw that. I saw that.
Holy cow.
Bring it on, baby.
Is this guy just going to be I'm on? But, I think it's, look, again, this is why, the camaraderie between the two of us gets so well, because he is so passionate about that side and the inventory and the recon and that business, and he knows it so well. And I applaud him for putting that out there to make sure everybody understands. Mine is more of the collections and even the sales and the operation side of it. But on my side, I'm always one to say, make sure that they can afford it, whatever the case may be, however it's going to play out. Even if it's an older vehicle, if you have to back it down, better to get rid of it now, as Ben alluded to and talked a little bit about, than to wait on it and sit on it for a lot longer because I can't get my price. I can't get this. Well, you better sell it now because you're not going to get anything for it in the future. And you're going to have to take a bigger haircut at that point in time as well.
Well, and you got to think about the stresses that you're going to have in your dealership, right? And when I get passionate about something, it's not because I prefer service over collections or sales or underwriting or anything like that. It's like that's the stress point that you're going to deal with right now. And you brought that up, Bill, and we've got cars sitting out there. You have to move. You got to be paying attention to that right now. And then you've got to think about your cost of funds, and you got to think what happens to your sales teams. Your sales teams are going to take the path of least resistance. That is what they're going to do, and they will walk right around those cars. So make sure you got your finger on that pulse so that you don't end up losing out down the road. Bill, big news in the buy here, pay here industry about a week ago, right? Yep. What do you think? Why don't you tell everybody what happened?
You know what? I actually had the opportunity to be there at the Dealer Performance Group meeting that they had. out in Orlando, Florida. And big news was dealer performance groups and NIADA were actually joining forces. So now there's just one large group of 20 group members. We've got I think it's over 30 now groups that we have between the dealer performance groups and NIADA. And this is anything from buy here, pay here to lease here, pay here, retail, service, finance. So, we've got a good number of different 20 groups that we have, but the opportunity to be able to get everybody back together. And as we said, and this was actually said by Rob Fox there at the meeting, and Scott Allen, our current president of NIADA, was better together. And that is so true, because at the end of the day, we are all better together as one association, all going for we have one goal in mind. And that's the members, and that's the people, that we're trying to serve at that point in time with education, insight, and information.
Yeah, I'm super excited about this. Since Bill and I kind of came into the business, we both came into the business we both have been in the business for a really long time. We both came to NIADA about 6 minutes apart in August of 21, right? And there's kind of been a rift a little bit in our industry around 20 groups, and I'm so happy to see that kind of sealed up a little bit right now. I'm super excited to welcome back David Brotherton, who's been a moderator for a really long time. We welcomed him back into the NIADA team. I'm excited to be able to pick his brain on a few things that, I kind of related it to. We were on a call the other day. We were on an introductory call, and I said, it's funny because last week I was trying to tackle your quarterback, and now I'm gonna protect your blind side.
Right, absolutely. I'm gonna be your blocker.
That's right.
I'm gonna be your blocker. So yeah, that's a great thing.
Yeah, so super excited about this, and what I'm really excited about is that DPG did some good things. NIADA is fantastic. I love being a part of NIADA. DPG did some good things, and we're going to take the best of both worlds. And we're going to make this product really strong for our members. We have so many different groups, guys. There's a group for you somewhere in our family, whether you're a small dealer or a large dealer, whether you're retail, whether you're buy here, pay, whether you're just getting new, whether you're just starting off. We have express groups specifically designed for dealers who can't really leave their dealerships for very long. And jumpstart groups, I mean, it's a great thing. I'm super excited. I've said super excited like 6 times already.
Yeah, he is super excited. You can see he's sitting up in the front of the chair again there.
Oh,
stop it.
So all right. So what's coming up? It is what? What is this? What are you doing? Okay.
Fantastic.
Buy Here, Pay Here Training Academy. All right, Bill, why don't you tell them about the Buy Here, Pay Here Training Academy, February 22nd in Dallas, right?
February 22nd and 23rd is a full day of information. And let me see, I've got the book.
2 full days.
2 full days of information. If you can see this is the book that we actually go and teach from at that point.
Keep showing the book. Yeah, keep showing.
Yeah. So it's that thick. There's that many pages that we're going to actually go. And we take from 8 to 5 each day, and it is a full day worth of information. And a lot of times, we kind of start talking and we go through, although there's lots of information in the book, we're going to give some of our own insights, some of our own knowledge, some of the things that we might know a little bit more about that's going to help each and every one of the individuals that are going to be in this class to be able to better understand it. If they're just getting into the business, they're looking to get into the business, there could very well be a potential vendor that wants to understand the buy here, pay here business better. Whatever it is, we're going to be able to give you that insight and information because, again, as Ben talked about earlier, we've got over 60 plus years of
industry
education
knowledge
in this, of education in this side of the business, in the buy here, pay here business. We know it very well, and lease here, pay here as well. So, I don't leave out one without the other because at the end of the day, we teach, and train about both of them because they're very similar, but there's definitely some great little models that we can teach to and talk about.
Yeah, Jay and Ty, let me explain this. So this Buy Here, Pay Here Training Academy, For example, I know a lot of your audience kind of originated in the trucking space, right? So let's say you're an entrepreneur, you're trucking, and you want to branch out, or you want to get into something else, or maybe you just kind of been playing around with flipping cars. So you buy a car, sell a car, and you'd like to get real serious about this. Well, this 2-day training academy is a very comprehensive, high-level overview of everything you would need to know in order to get a buy here, pay here dealership up and running. So from start to finish, how to buy the car, how to recon the car, how to sell the car, how to market the car, how to sell the car, how to underwrite, how to collect, what property should look like, pro formas and projection models. And part of that book is all of the templates for policies and procedures and how to hire and how to set up your staff. And it is a really, really good comprehensive training. We pack it into 2 days. You can't learn this business in 2 days, but it'll give you a good high level overview. You can take back and you can kind of look at it. And Jay, for this class, we were able to get Janet Staderman, who is our director of education, to give you guys a link with for your viewers for a little bit of a discount. You want to talk to that?
So I shared the general link, but you're right. I think there's a specific link. Where, Janet, do you have? I'm trying to look it up. I know I have. Wait a minute. I have so many things here. So, all right. I found a link, and I'm going to try to share that. Keep talking. Let me try to find the link. All right, let's do that.
I'm sorry I put you on the spot.
No, you're good. Hey,
usually
man,
I
signed up for this. All right, keep going.
Well, he always puts me on the spot. But you know what? So as Ben talked about, in this, and sometimes it's not just even our conversations, but the people that we have in the room that are able to talk to each other, whether it's at the lunch or even at the dinner or whatever the case may be, the breakfast the next morning. Those are the conversations that you're also going to gather a little bit more information. That kind of goes back to our 20 group scenarios, that we talk about, because that's the education you get from somebody is when you actually talk with them outside of the classroom, outside of somewhere else that it's not so structured, but you can talk freely and you can ask them some questions, and that gives even more insight. But these individuals that have come to, and this is the second time that Ben and I do this, and we've got I think at least another one more time that we are going to do it throughout the year. I don't know if we're going to offer $400 off again, but
no, that's a one-time offer for you guys.
Wow, thank you.
Yeah.
I was just looking. Okay, so because you saved that, and thanks a lot, Zoom, for the update. Don't you hate it when you get a tech update and you already had a process and like Zoom makes all these updates and I'm dealing with that.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find the promo code and we're live, so why not?
Why not? Well, you got to be flexible, Jay. You got.
That's why I need.
You need
a little bit more flexibility. You need to start doing yoga.
Yeah.
I should try yoga during the show. Why not? Let's add yoga.
Yeah.
I found I'm going to find this page and then I'm going to hand it back over to you guys. But I did find, so you go to, here's the page. You go to, this is an NIADA registration page for the Buy Here, Pay Here New Dealer Academy, right? And it gives you the regular pricing. Wow, you're saving, gosh, with that $400 promo code ATILIVE that you're using right now, you're going to save, okay, so let's say you're a non-member, that saves you like a good 20% off, maybe more.
Yeah.
That's
it's pretty significant.
That is significant.
It's just because we love you guys.
Wow. Well, that's incredible. And this is in Dallas. Let me hit that. This is going to be in Dallas. When is it?
It's going to be in Dallas, Texas. We're going to be live and on stage there at
less than 2 weeks.
February 22nd, February 22nd, 23rd. We picked Dallas because it's an easy in and out hub. Most every airline in every city flies into Dallas, so it should be relatively easy to get to. So, yeah, excited about that. And we've got a lot of other things coming up. So if you click on the NIADA, or if you just put in NIADA.com, and that gets you to the main site,
NIADA.com,
and then go to learn, and then once you go to learn, go to the course schedule.
Oh, okay.
So hover over learn there, Jay.
Okay, I'm on learn. Yeah. Oh.
And then go to course schedule. There you go.
Thank you.
And that'll show everything that's coming up. But we don't have to spend a ton of time on that. Everybody can get to that. So, But that's all of the stuff that's coming up. And you'll notice some of those say free webinar. Okay. So lots of industry partners are willing to our vendors are fantastic. And these guys just want to educate our dealer. And they're great partners with NIADA, and they're putting on some free seminars. You guys should really take advantage of that. It's a phenomenal partnership that we have with a lot of our vendors out there. We're super excited about it. And I said super excited again.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah, you know
super
what?
excited.
I'm going to go with, they always do something, where for football games or something else, if somebody says something, they score a touchdown, you might have a drink or something at that point in time. I'm going to start doing that with a bell. So
it's a super excited bell.
Do a shot. Whatever Ben Goodman says, super excited.
Well, we did talk.
You
at
will
one
be
point in time
toasted
about having
pretty quickly,
and you'll be excited.
You might not make it a 30-minute show.
Stop it, Bill.
Okay, all right. As we move to land this plane, I just want to say, number one, and I think Ty's going to jump in on this. I loved what you guys were saying about, number one, tag team. We're a tag team. We help each other remember what it is that we wanted to say. But two, when you got into the market factors of what's happening now, that was awesome. We love that stuff.
Great.
Thank you. Ty.
Yeah. Tag, you're it. No, I'm listening to all this stuff. I keep thinking about Jason Rice, and I'm not trying to take anything. Watching you guys talk about what's coming up, it reminds me, this old inventory and how salespeople will walk around that car because it's the old inventory. So one of the things I was thinking is buy here, and I can't remember this, but buy here, pay here. What do they do with their wholesale units? They send them to the auction, right?
Right.
Yeah,
just
they do.
Like everything else. Yeah.
Just like everything else.
That goes to the auction. If the prices are, what I think it was Ben was talking about, well, it's 2020, 21. They're buying this inventory. They're paying too much for it, the compression and the margins and all that. I'm listening to this. I'm just getting really excited, even though I don't know what it means, because to me, I see more opportunity, right? And I think that's what I'm ultimately hearing from you guys.
Yeah.
Opportunity.
Ty, 2023 is going to be, man, if you're in the buy here, pay here space, rock on, man. But if you're even thinking about getting in the buy here, pay here space, 2023 is the time to do it. This is going to be a fantastic year for buy here, pay here. I'm confident, and lease here, pay here as well.
Absolutely. I wholeheartily agree. This is our time right now. We're calling it because, you can start to see it. People, the businesses start to pick up. I'm on a number of different Facebook groups that, kind of have a lot of that information. You see the excitement of some of these people. Hey, I just sold this many cars today. I just did this. That's the stuff that you hadn't seen in a bit. And so, it's really good to kind of see those things continuing to happen and going out there. But the best part about all this is that we have the ability to be able to finance for our customers on a direct basis, and we don't have to go to anybody else, because at the end of the day, they're going to come into us, we're going to make the decision, and then they're going to be driving out from there at that point in time.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to get with you guys maybe Monday, but the Dallas thing, I want to talk to you some more about the Dallas event. So
sure,
I think that's a great opportunity. Like you guys said, it's easy to get in and out of. And you know what? I think it was Bill was saying, you don't necessarily have to be a car dealer to want to be a part of this.
Right. Ty, you're spot on. So I have vendor partners who are really kind of more geared towards retail in a lot of ways that would love to learn more about the buy here, pay here space. Local accounting firms, who would like to get that clientele, but don't really know a lot about buy here, pay here. Just one example. But there's just a lot of vendors out there, a lot of partners really to the automotive dealer who would love to learn more about buy here, pay here, and how it operates. It's a great class for it because we're not too into the weeds, but we give a really good high level overview that a lot of people can learn from.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're so in Dallas, we're actually at our corporate office. So our corporate office is right there in that same building. So it makes it even nice because you don't know who you might get. It could be the CEO, our vice presidents might be around. Somebody might stop and say hello. and give us some more insight, and maybe even talk with us about what they can see even from the NIADA at that point in time. But this is all about education. So, and Ben and I I think we put on a great show. And for the vendors that do come, it's all because they want to get educated on what to do and how to look at and what they can do better in this buy here, pay here business and lease here, pay here business.
Yeah. Well, you guys are great. And it really means a lot to Jay and I that you took the time out of your day to spend time with us and educate us like you did, which absolutely, you guys working together, talking back and forth. It's really not just entertaining, but educational. And Jay and I really want to say thank you.
Thanks very much. And we're super excited.
Damn it.
I'm super excited.
I'm going to hashtag that for Ben.
So well, we should pull out
I've already got Benny on the stick, so I'm just going to start the hashtag.
Next show. We'll do that next show.
Thanks.
Super excited.
Guys, thank you so much. Keep in touch. Let us know how we can help. And I put all your contact info in the live chat. So
thank you so much, Jay and Ty. We really do appreciate you guys. Have a wonderful weekend, and we'll see you again soon.
Yeah, take care, fellas. Thank you so much.
Thanks very much.
See you, Bill.
All right. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put him back in the waiting room and just say goodbye to Ty here as we lead into the weekend. Ty, what's neat is, so you were reminding me, what's weird is that I was kind of like, I think I kind of forgot about last June at NIADA. I don't know where, I got like a blind spot. I need to get that checked out. But you were at NIADA in June, and that's kind of what kicked off all this new relationship with NIADA, with Ben, with Bill. Janet's in the live chat. And we met several other folks.
Remember your buddy Reed? And then there's Troy.
Right, Reed Mullins. Oh my gosh.
I got to do an interview with the president guy. Remember that guy?
Oh,
what was his name?
Bob Voltman?
Yeah, Bob. I got to do an interview with Bob.
I totally forgot.
NIADA.
You know what?
That was huge.
I had a Zoom meeting. Oh my gosh, camera one. What can happen with just one Zoom meeting? I had a Zoom meeting with Reed Mullins about a year ago. And that's kind of what started this snowball. Yeah. Wow, look where we are 1 year later from a Zoom meeting. Wow.
Well, right. So we got to go to the NIADA, which was amazing. Got to meet all those guys. Got to even talk to some of the exhibitors. Remember, we talked to CDK and a couple of different guys.
Oh, totally. There's some awesome footage. Yeah.
Because of that, we ended up at the Buy Here, Pay Here conference, which was also amazing.
Buy Here, Pay Here Super Forum. That was awesome.
Bill and Ben, so.
And then you were talking to dealers that were car haulers. And everybody went crazy, like, what? These verticals are connected?
Was going wild.
Yeah.
It was amazing. We started talking about auctions and which auction that guy goes to, and that guy goes to that auction. That guy buys online, and it's a train wreck. So, I mean, it goes back to really what we started out. This is a very relational business. I don't care what side you're on. I don't care if you're a vendor, or I don't care if you're the dealer, the auction. You'll hear it, and you'll hear it, and you'll hear it, but it's real. And that's one of my missions in life, to get people to understand who's a dealer, who's an auction, who's a carrier. What are these relationships, and how do they connect? And why is it important for the guy who's just out here in the transport parking lot loading and unloading cars to have any understanding whatsoever of what a dealer is and what an auction is, right? And I think that's where we're going to probably branch off, and we're going to start talking about what's a good carrier.
Oh, wow. Well, and actually, carriers came up last week on the Ship Africa show, and a carrier said, hey, take it easy on us. And, well, good point. And that's actually why, I mean, we know, being a carrier, you know why a carrier is sensitive to taking another hit is because it seems like they get hit from all sides already anyways, which is what we're trying to help shine a light on and help everybody, Let's all pass the hat for the carrier. Can we do that?
Pass the hat for the carrier.
Pass the hat for the carrier.
Carrier for doing a bad job.
I smell a show.
He doesn't know what he's doing. You're passing the hat, and I'm taking the hat and jumping up and down on it. Do your job. Then we'll pass it around.
We don't need no hat. Yeah, exactly. Well, but we go back and forth, and that's what's interesting. And, I've been on the phone all this morning just talking about, because I keep getting asked, okay, again, who's the audience? It's the automotive ecosystem.
Yeah.
And the content.
Yeah. Before we ever started the show, you said we had something from a meeting today.
Well, we'll take that offline. But what I want to say is, and that's part of what I am saying, is that the content that's getting produced on this channel now is so far outside of the original vertical where we started that I'll have a meeting with somebody I haven't talked to in a year, and they're like, yeah, so how's that carrier show going? I'm like, whoa, dude. We're talking to auctions, remarketers, lenders. We got the repo bunch. We got dealers. I mean, it's insane
guys,
what we're
about
doing
the Titans?
And that Tuesday night, oh my gosh, the Titans and that Tuesday night show with, the remarketing and the auction tech. And I mean, it's exploding. I can't be more super excited.
Super excited.
Super excited.
Well, you know what to do. If you need anything, call Todd, 417-483-2764. Just give me a call. We'll figure it out together.
Yeah, man, or email me. Everything's in the live chat. Thank you guys so much for being in the live chat. Jacob Watts, greetings to you. Renee Lowe, thanks for watching. We love talking to you. Let us know how we can help you. Janet, thank you so very much. Janet, Ben, Bill, NIADA, Buy Here, Pay Here, Dealer Academy, and the whole gang, thank you so much. Ty, so go get some heat. Thank you so much for what you do, man. Bye. Good man, take care. All right, see you, buddy. All right, so that meeting is over. Meeting adjourned. Thank you all so much again. It's ATI Auto Business. It's the automotive ecosystem. We really believe that. We love learning and sharing and helping folks develop content, ideas, business relationships, and more. It is not just a podcast, it's a business channel. And if you've been watching for any amount of time, you've seen the growth. It just keeps compounding. I can't wait to see what happens this year in 2023. We're off to a bang, and we've got some cool stuff coming up. So please let us know how we can help you. Thank you so much. Oh, Chris Chamberlain is in here. Wow, man. We are in for an awesome ride. Things are just really starting to cook. So thank you so much. Take care. Speaking of cooking, stay warm. It's still a little bit cold, but I see the sunshine. I'm going to try and get a cigar here in a little bit. Hopefully you're able to enjoy the rest of your day, some part of the weekend. Got the Super Bowl coming up. Watch for those ads. It's going to be exciting. Stay tuned, everybody. Thank you so much. And, Tuesday. We have a special show on Tuesday. We're going to go live at noon. I also like to celebrate Valentine's Day. I don't expect anybody to sit around on Valentine's Day with their excited other and watching some YouTube show. So we'll do a live, I think it's Dealer Valentine's Day on Tuesday at noon. It'll be a shorter show, so please do tune in for that. We'll see you next week. Thanks, everybody. Take care. Stay safe. Peace out.